Apple is about to do something they have never done before. And if you're sitting on iPhone 13, 14, or even an iPhone 16 right now, wondering whether to hold on or pull the trigger on an upgrade, this is the video you need to watch before you spend a single dollar. Because the iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to be one of the most significant generational leaps Apple has delivered in years. Not because of one big feature, but because of several major changes hitting at the same time. And the expected starting price is around $1,299 to $1,399. Yes, it is going up. We will break down whether that increase is actually justified in a few minutes. But first, here's what is actually changing, and why it matters more than most people realize. The biggest story with the iPhone 18 Pro Max is the chip. Apple is moving to a next-generation A19 Pro build on TSMC's second-generation 3nm process. Early supply chain reports suggest this chip will deliver roughly 20 to 25% better CPU performance and up to 30% better GPU performance compared to the A18 Pro found in the iPhone 16 Pro Max. What does that actually mean in your hands? Video creators shooting 4K ProRes footage will see export times drop significantly. Tasks that currently take 18 to 22 seconds on the iPhone 16 Pro Max are expected to complete in under 14 seconds on the 18 Pro Max. That is not a lab number. That is time you get back every single day. For gamers, the GPU jump means console-level titles that currently struggle to hold 60 frames per second will run closer to a locked 60, with some lighter titles potentially reaching higher frame rates entirely. But that is not the biggest change coming. The display is getting a serious upgrade. Current reports point to Apple moving to a new under-display Face ID system on the Pro Max, which means the dynamic island could be completely gone on the top-tier model. A true full-screen experience. No cutout, no island, just display. If accurate, this would be the most dramatic visual change to the iPhone design since the notch was introduced back in 2017. And here's where things get very interesting. The camera system on the iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to take a significant step forward. Leaks from multiple credible supply chain sources point to a larger sensor on the main camera, potentially a 1/1.14-inch sensor compared to the current 1/1.28-inch sensor on the 16 Pro Max. Larger sensor means more light. More light means dramatically better low-light photos without any AI processing tricks involved. The periscope telephoto lens introduced on the 16 Pro Max is expected to remain, but with optical improvements that push usable zoom quality even further. For creators who rely on their phone as a primary shooting device, this is a meaningful upgrade. Not a spec sheet upgrade, a real-world image quality upgrade. Most buyers comparing specs right now are completely missing one detail that could make or break this entire purchase decision. Apple is reportedly introducing a new vapor chamber thermal system inside the iPhone 18 Pro Max. This is something Samsung has used in the Galaxy S25 Ultra for years. A proper vapor chamber allows the A19 Pro chip to sustain peak performance for longer without throttling. On the current iPhone 16 Pro Max, extended gaming sessions or long video exports cause noticeable performance throttling as the device heats up. With a vapor chamber, the 18 Pro Max is expected to maintain peak performance far longer. In practical terms, a 4K ProRes video export that currently slows down mid-task may complete at full speed from start to finish. That single engineering change alone separates the 18 Pro Max from almost everything else on the market, including the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra and the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, let us talk battery life, because this is where the upgrade story gets genuinely compelling. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to feature a larger battery, likely in the range of 4,900 to 5,100 mAh. Combined with the efficiency improvements from the A19 Pro chip, Early analyst estimates project all-day battery life, extending by roughly 2 to 3 additional hours compared to the 16 Pro Max under real usage conditions. For professionals and frequent travelers, that difference is enormous. That is the difference between reaching for your charger at 7 p.m. versus making it through the entire evening without thinking about your battery once. Ridging speed is also expected to improve. Reports suggest Apple is finally moving toward 45-watt wired charging, a meaningful jump from the 27-watt speeds currently supported on the 16 Pro Max. That could bring a full charge from 0 to 100% in under 75 minutes. Here is the part that surprised us the most. Apple is reportedly expanding its Apple Intelligence AI system significantly on the iPhone 18 Pro Max. The new chip gives Apple the headroom to run far more of its AI features entirely on device, without sending data to the cloud. For privacy-focused professionals, that matters as much as the speed improvement. Features like real-time transcription, advanced photo editing with semantic understanding, and deeper Siri integrations are all expected to benefit directly from the A19 Pro's upgraded neural engine. This is where the iPhone 18 Pro Max pulls further ahead of the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, which relies heavily on cloud processing for many of its AI features. On-device AI is not just faster, it is more private. And for enterprise professionals, that is a buying decision factor that has real value. Now let us talk about the price and whether it makes financial sense. The expected pricing puts the iPhone 18 Pro Max starting at approximately $1,299 for the 256GB base model. That is roughly $100 more than the iPhone 16 Pro Max launched at. A 256GB model today sits around $1,199. Is that $100 increase justified? Here is how to think about it. If you keep this phone for 3 years, which is a realistic usage cycle for a Pro Max buyer, the difference between $1,199 and $1,299 is about $2.75 per month, against a device you're using for 10 to 14 hours every single day. When you frame it that way, the chip improvement, the thermal upgrade, the battery extension, the full screen display, the math works out clearly in favor of the 18 Pro Max for anyone planning to hold this device through 2028. Compared to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra starting at $1,299 and the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL at $1,099, the iPhone 18 Pro Max competes directly on price while offering a stronger long-term software commitment. Apple supports its devices with major iOS updates for 6 to 7 years. Samsung commits to 7 years of updates as well. Google promises 7 years on the Pixel 9 series. But Apple's track record on maintaining performance across those updates remains the strongest in the industry. So, who should actually buy the iPhone 18 Pro Max right now? If you're coming from an iPhone 13 Pro Max or older, this upgrade is not a decision. It is a necessity. You are 4 or 5 generations behind in chip performance, camera capability, and AI features. The iPhone 18 Pro Max will feel like a completely different category of device. If you're on an iPhone 14 or 14 Pro Max, this is a genuine leap worth making. 3 generations of chip improvements, a dramatically better camera, and the full screen redesign together create an upgrade that you will feel every single time you pick up the phone. If you're on an iPhone 15 Pro Max, the calculus is closer. The A19 Pro chip, the vapor chamber thermal system, and the battery life gains are meaningful, but not urgent. If those specific improvements matter to your daily workflow, upgrade. If not, hold until the 19 Pro Max cycle. If you're on an iPhone 16 Pro Max, the honest answer is to wait. You already have the A18 Pro chip, ProRes video, and the periscope camera. The 18 Pro Max improvements are real, but they are not a one-generation upgrade story for you. Casual users who mostly browse, text, and use social apps can save money and consider the standard iPhone 18 or even a discounted iPhone 16. The Pro Max is built for people who push their phone hard every single day. For creators, power users, and professionals, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to be the smartest long-term investment in Apple's lineup in several years. Before you make your final call on this one, there's a direct head-to-head comparison between the iPhone 18 Pro Max and the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra coming very soon, breaking down exactly which one wins for creators, gamers, and professionals. You'll want to see that before you decide.